of course, tonight we're going to be honoring, I believe, well over 37 people with a Legendary Achievement Award. Nowhere in Canada, matter of fact, we even checked it out, throughout the world, this is the only Ukrainian Musicians Hall of Fame in the world. So, yeah, that's something to talk. In January 2002, the Ukrainian Musicians Association was established as a registered non-profit organization. UMA was created in order to acknowledge and honor the past and present musicians. A group of board of directors quickly put together plans in motion and set up a small Hall of Fame in Winnipeg. And then after that, a little gala event, similar to this one that's going to take place tonight at the Hall, commemorating and awarding many musicians. As years went on, the Ukrainian Musicians Association hosted sold-out Zabalas, Zimove festivals, and various events. Their long-term goal was to have association with an organization that has recognition on a national scale. In the year 2009, UMA approached the Ukrainian festival. They in turn directed us to the SOLO organization, and now here we are in Dauphin, Manitoba. The Ukrainian Musicians Hall of Fame, first of its kind in the world. A big thank you goes out to the SOLO board as well as the Ukrainian Festival Board for accepting us and giving Yuma a permanent home. We are pleased, and not only pleased, we are thrilled to have you join us in a special event as we preserve our Ukrainian heritage in displaying to you our culture through music from the Ukrainians that settled in the region during the 1890s and the 1900s. And we truly believe that the first Ukrainians that migrated into this Dauphin region was in around 1895. The legacy of our music has been passed down to our generation to ensure it continues to be recognized as not only a source of entertainment to millions of people, but to our heritage to be maintained and not forgotten. We must preserve and protect the legacy for future generations, which is one of the major goals of the UMA organization. And what we're trying to do, folks, it is our intention as the UMA to make every Ukrainian in Canada, the United States, and the world over familiar with this Ukrainian Musicians Association and the Hall of Fame. We now have with us one of the board of directors as well as a legendary performer, no stranger to none of us, I'm sure. Please help me welcome Ms. Bunny Skloporj as she shares with us our mission statement. Bunny?
Добрий вечір вам всім. Good evening to everybody, and it is a great pleasure to be a member of the Ukrainian Musicians Association. And we have many Ukrainian talents that are amongst us, and our grandchildren and our nephews and nieces that were never ever appreciated. And hopefully somewhere along the line we as an association will be able to recognize them and congratulate them for playing Ukrainian music. We have put together a Ukrainian Musicians Association, what we call a mission statement. That means those are our goals and objectives, as Nestor had said, and this is what basically it reads. We will honor, preserve, protect, and recognize the vast contributions made by the musicians through their music. And we will maintain the creation of the Ukrainian Musicians Association Hall of Fame. We will, through music, cherish Ukrainian culture, heritage, and traditions. We will bring together songs of unity and inspiration to all that reflect the innermost thoughts and feelings in mind and heart. We will treasure the music and songs that may bring back fond memories of days gone by. We will pay courage in modern and current appreciation of melodies in order to create a greater Ukrainian music audience. We will attempt to preserve and honor the memory of the deceased Canadian Ukrainian musicians for future generations to treasure. We've sort of put our thoughts in as simple a form as we could, and I hope that you appreciate what we are trying to do and support us as much as possible. Thank you very much for your close attention.
Okay, cases as we call them, and you will all have an opportunity to take a look at some of the work that has been done to create, okay, all the people that are going to be in our hearts forever. We hope and pray also that the generator is not going to run out of gas. So if I go blank like that and it gets dark in here, don't panic, okay? Because apparently they only have, what, a quarter of gas left?
Oh, it's full.
Also, we'd like to thank the children here for coming out in beautiful costumes as well. They're going to be participating very shortly. We now have with us, let me back up here, sorry. Okay, a special thanks goes out to some local people here that also have assisted and volunteered the Ukrainian Musicians Association, because most of us board of directors are in Winnipeg, and since it's been moved to Dauphin, well, it's a little distance for us to come out here and try and manage and organize things. So I would like to personally thank several people, and I hope I'm not missing others, okay, but if I do, we appreciate your participation. First and foremost, Freddie Shatterbrook would like to thank you for your hard endeavors. Victor Belinsky, Sonia Hoko, and Morris Stefaniuk, okay? Those are among some of the people. Let's give them a big hand, because these are the people that have been spearheading all of it. Okay? As well, I would like to acknowledge the board of directors, and wherever you guys are out there, just wave. Bob Chervico, there's Bob right here, okay? Lorna Kristik, Bunny Skupovich, Ann Colligan, and myself. So we make up the Ukrainian Musicians Board of Directors. And now what we'd like to do is, for our opening ceremonies, we're privileged to have several guests from our Dauphin community. Please help me welcome, representing the rural municipality of Dauphin, Reeve, Mr. Dennis Forbes.
Damp day, to say the least. Anyway, music and community halls seems to me it's just a perfect fit. So to locate the Ukrainian Music Hall of Fame at the site of Canada's National Ukrainian Festival, and in this historic Rhodes Hall, seems a natural fit. These old walls must have absorbed enough over the lifetime to fill countless albums. To have this music hall in the Arm of Dauphin is indeed an honor.
Thank you very much. Let's give him a big hand.
It wouldn't be fitting without starting out by saying Bataimo. It is a word that we have come accustomed to in Dauphin and in this rural area for quite a many number of years now. I'd like to say that Mayor Paul sends his regrets as he is away at a conference in Toronto City Conference. On behalf of the council and staff of the City of Dauphin, I would like to welcome you to this grand opening of the Ukrainian Musicians Hall of Fame. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Ukrainian Musicians Association Board of Directors, as they were all announced, for their hard work in bringing this wonderful and unique national museum to our city and this region. What a great opportunity we have now to honor, to preserve, to protect, to recognize the vast contributions made by Ukrainian musicians who, through music, have brought Ukrainian music culture from across the nation. The City of Dauphin is proud of its Ukrainian culture, and we are very honored to be home of the museum that displays the world's great Canadian Ukrainian performers. It is a pleasure being here and celebrating this grand opening and ribbon cutting with all of you here today, and have a wonderful and safe evening. Thank you very much.
A beautiful site as the home of Canada's National Ukrainian Festival with the name Slava Ukraina. The mission of our organization, the Ukrainian Folk Arts Center Museum, is to provide an environment for the awareness and preservation of the Ukrainian heritage and culture through a self-sufficient community organization. This is being achieved by operating and maintaining our site for activities such as Canada's National Ukrainian Festival. And further to that, our organization went further to develop the Ukrainian Heritage Village, which is dedicated to our early pioneers from the Ukraine who came to this area to help develop our country of Canada. We recognize and honor the accomplishments and hardships of our pioneers and them building their homes, raising a family, their religion, education, their work as farmers, their crafts, singing and music. We therefore display around us, as you drove in, the early homes of our pioneers, the church, the school, farm buildings, shoe repair shop, and this community recreation building, the Rhodes Hall. Our Ukrainian traditions included the singing, music, and dancing, which took place in many rural community halls throughout Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and definitely here in Dauphin. Many of us today remember the great times from our younger days. It's therefore fitting that the Ukrainian Folk Arts Centre Museum relocated the Rhodes Hall from the RM of Ethelbert to be a part of our Ukrainian Heritage Village. In 2009, through negotiations between the Ukrainian Folk Arts Centre Museum and the Ukrainian Musicians Association, a partnership was formed, which brought the Ukrainian Musicians Hall of Fame from Winnipeg to Slava Ukraina. We welcome this partnership as the Hall of Fame is a great collection of memorabilia from our Ukrainian musicians, which will benefit not only our museum, but the many visitors who will come to see our site in the future. So today, I wish to congratulate the hard work of the Ukrainian Musicians Association on the work they have done to organize and pull together the Ukrainian Musicians Hall of Fame, and to thank them for bringing their display to Slava Ukraina. Dobry.
And now representing Canada's National Ukrainian Festival, Mr. David Keshmer.
Wonderful idea that Nestor phoned me a while back and with this idea of bringing this museum to Dauphin. And we kind of put our thinking caps on. We weren't sure where would be a good place for it. We certainly didn't have the facilities downtown. And we got talking with Jim Perchulik here, and we thought, well, Rhodes Hall is sitting here. Why not use the Rhodes Hall? It's quite fitting, and it would make an excellent place to make the display. And again, I want to thank Nestor for all the work that he's done on this, and including us at the Ukrainian Festival and Salal site. This is definitely going to be a great asset to Canada's National Ukrainian Festival, and also to the Salal site itself. Congratulations, and thank you for involving us.
Great, thank you. Good afternoon in Bataimo. You know what, when this first association started, it's in my speech, but I'm just going to elaborate on it. We started in 2001, I believe, at the River Exhibition Grounds. 6 o'clock, Ness and myself are standing there, and it's pouring rain. You wouldn't believe it. It's thundering and lightning, and we look at each other and said, what are we going to do? I said, well, all the bands are ready, so let's go for it. So about 9, 10 o'clock, you wouldn't believe, the people were coming through the gate. They're coming with umbrellas and garbage bags, they're wrapped around, and they sat there all day. We had a great time. Okay, I'll carry on with my speech now. My name is Bob Cherwico. On behalf of the board of directors of the Ukrainian Music Association and the Salal. It is our great pleasure and privilege to welcome you the opening of the Ukrainian Music Hall of Fame, now located at the Rhodes Hall. And actually there's some of the bands that have played in this hall. Actually the Interlake Polka Kings, when we come here and looked at the place, we seen their albums. When we talked to them, they played in this hall, so it's quite interesting. Where so many of our inductees have at one time and another had played here. I want to give you a short history in the beginning of our Hall of Fame. Over a cup of coffee, we had a conversation about the Ukrainian musicians and its artists, and both past and present. We realized that the musicians should be recognized for their achievements, not only for their source of entertaining to millions, but maintaining and promoting Ukrainian culture, heritage, and tradition. A committee of 6 volunteers was formed, established a non-profit organization. It's a goal to create the Hall of Fame and plus honor these musicians. The first UMA sponsored event, again like I say, was a Zababa at the River Exhibition Grounds. While the weather was less than cooperative with us, it was an eye-opener. By 10 o'clock, people were waiting, wearing raincoats and carrying umbrellas. Some complained they couldn't see the band because umbrellas were in their way. Musicians donated their time and their talent for the hundreds of people in attendance. All Ukrainians, musicians, lovers. The official opening of the Hall of Fame and the gala event took place in March 2001, at which that time 19 Ukrainian artists were inducted. To date, we have approximately 31 inductees in these containers here. At the Dauphin Festival in August this year, we probably will induct approximately another 6 musicians. I think it's 6 enough? Yep. The Hall of Fame has displayed showcases and artifacts, pictures, biographies, and memorabilia. Within a few years, we outgrew our space and began searching for a new home. There was no better or ideal place for the Hall of Fame than Dauphin, Ukrainian capital of Canada, which always hosted the National Ukrainian Festival each year. We would like to express our gratitude to the committee members of the SOLA, the festival, for without their cooperation, we would not be here today. Please feel free to visit the Hall of Fame and enjoy a cup of coffee, and we got some coffee and cake. I hope our coffee is being made, because our generator is running. And to all of you guys, thanks you guys for coming out. And another thing, without the Hall of Fame donations, that's how we thrive on. And then from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate all you guys that donated to our Hall of Fame. Because without you people, it's yours. It's not really ours. It's you guys that are supporting our Hall of Fame. And that means a lot to us to keep it updated, promoted, and just keep it running. And it takes a lot of money to keep it running, believe me. So, okay, on behalf of that, thank you all for coming out, and I hope I see you at the hall tonight. And
Okay, folks, Bob says it all. I mean, I wanted to add the same thing he just finished telling you, okay? But I'm just going to kind of conclude. Once again, thank each and every one of you for coming. And I know some of you, just looking over the audience, have traveled from Saskatchewan. I believe there are some people here from Alberta, and of course surrounding areas. Thank you so much for participating and coming out to see what we call history in the making. You'll be able to tell your children and your grandchildren that one day you were here in the same location as the Ukrainian Musicians Hall of Fame was unveiled here in Dauphin, Manitoba. And you Dauphinites, okay, I think this is something you should be proud of. So I think give yourself a hand for accepting us here into your community. I'd like to call on the board of directors. We're going to do a ribbon cutting ceremony very shortly. I don't know, how many of you like drinking cold coffee? Anybody? We have to brew that coffee at first thing in the morning, but for some reason the generator is not pumping enough juice, so it's just lukewarm right now. Anyways, we do have some cake. I don't know if the coffee is going to be ready, but if it's not, we do apologize. But we definitely want everybody, of the musicians that perhaps performed at your weddings or your anniversaries or maybe your children's weddings. Maybe it's your relatives that are in those showcases. Maybe it's your grandfather or uncles or brothers or sisters. It's a time to really reminisce, folks, because I'm telling you, this is something marvelous, okay? Only us Ukrainians have to be proud of it, because I know one thing for a fact, that You know, you could have, Toronto could have their Juno Awards, and of course Nashville has the Country Music Awards, and Winnipeg has the CNA Awards, but you know what? Right here in Dauphin, tonight we're going to have the Legendary Achievement Awards, and guess who? For Ukrainians. So let's give ourselves a hand, okay? It's a great, great achievement. Announce the grand opening of the Ukrainian Musicians Hall of Fame. We also are going to be giving away souvenir strips, okay, off the ribbon, so anybody would like to have some of those, come and see the ladies here. We're all going to mingle up front. Whatever you do, don't leave. We're going to have cake available very shortly. I believe the girls have already cut it up and is ready to go. And also, hopefully the coffee is going to be brewed. And if some of you can't stay, then maybe join us tonight, okay, 6 o'clock. The doors open at the other hall. Thank you so much.
in Australia and throughout Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome for Len Lam. Now the next recipient is going to be Eugene Lam. Okay? Eugene started playing with his dad Peter Lam in the band Sundown Pals at the age of 11. Eugene was very versatile, playing the drums, guitar, banjo, standing bass, and cymbala. In the early 1970s, he played with the band over CKA. Marcia Lynn Andreychuk was born November 9, 1965, to Ed and Irene Irinka of Burnie, Manitoba. Along with my parents and two brothers, Glenn and Bruce, we had a family band which entertained at dances, weddings, and bars throughout Manitoba and Saskatchewan, and at Dawson's Ukrainian Festival on several occasions. From the age of 11, I have played almost every weekend. This has turned out to be a career spanning 33 years in 7 bands, with Brothers Up the Road being the present group in which I play bass guitar and sing. I recorded 2 CDs with my late husband, Ron, oh boy, Wasylenchuk. Good Ukrainian name. Yeah, not that boy, baby.
The Honorable Achievement Award. I'd like to recognize that I'm very blessed to be born into a musical family, and I thank my mom and my late father for making us kids play. There were no such thing as sports, we were just supposed to play. And it was a beautiful way to spend time together as a family. So if my mom and my brother Bruce could please stand up at the back. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed every weekend with you. Thank you very much, folks. Have a good time.
Playing fiddle, guitar, and vocal, all self-taught by listening and watching others play. He started playing his fiddle with Willie Honchuk, Country Rolls, Country Cousins, and lately the Zushkin Family Band. Mike's music stems mainly from Ukrainian culture, and his most enjoyable time is playing at weddings and anniversaries. Mike has recorded 2 CDs with the Zushkin Band and remains active in the Ukrainian music industry at the young age of 73. Mike, where are you?
Mike wasn't able to attend, nor one of his family, so let's just give a warm applause for Mike Ernest. Our next recipient is 13 audiences since that time. He has performed with several bands, including the Rio Valley Buckaroos, the Harmony Boys, Ed Rubicki, and the Polka Jets, and currently with the Part-Time Old Timers. I don't know, he doesn't look like an old timer to me. Still looks kind of young. Still a day. Yeah. Victor has entertained with the likes of Steve Mick, Lauren Roebuck, Walter Pochelko, well, you give me all this tough names here. John Sachak, John Moroz, Melvin Lescu, Elvin Petlchuk, Elmer Zalishchuk, and Tom Tomashuk.
Anyhow, it is indeed a surprise for me. I did not expect anything like that. And here I just immediately took my shoes off and jumped in, and I started collecting money for the association. And I did manage to collect a few dollars for them to get them started, because this is a costly event. And I thank you very much, gentlemen.
Congratulations.
And the next recipient we have is Edmund Billick. Edmund Billick, are you in the audience? No? Okay, we're going to still read his bio here. Edmund recorded with Leo Masimic and the Trail Riders during the early 1970s. He played with Mar Precision and the Country Melodiers for approximately 6 years, as well as with Boris Millicent. Edmund played and filled in for many other bands between the years 1964 and 1976. In addition, Edmund played with other musicians such as Mike Staccato, Joe Genig, and Peter Lamb, to name a few. So I know he's not present, but let's give him a big hand anyway. Thanks. Edmund Billick.
There's a little bit more to say, I'm not sure. But Freddie Chetabrook. Freddie was born of Ukrainian parents in Gilbert Plains, Manitoba. At the age of 10, he started playing the guitar. Freddie's a self-taught guitar player. He appeared at concerts, talent contests, and guest performances at social events. In 1956, Freddie did a radio program on CKDM playing his guitar and singing. In 59, he organized his first band called the Rhythm Rangers and included some Ukrainian music appearing on Yorkton TV. Freddie also learned to play the timbale and added them to the band. In 1965, Freddie came to Winnipeg and joined up with Johnny and the Nightlighters. With his band, he recorded playing the timbale. He also composed and prepared 2 Ukrainian songs, Prairie Hardships and Courting Problems. You're married, aren't you? Yeah? Okay, no courting problems. Okay, that's you left. Okay, good. You listen to your own advice. They were recorded, and he followed up with Pub with No Beer, and It Tickles. Sometimes it hurts. They were translated into Ukrainian. In 66, 67, and 68, Freddie released 3 albums on which he sang and played the guitar. In 1969, he began playing with the Parklanders 4, and extended his musical career another 30 years. Wow, that's a long time. Freddie retired in 2000 and volunteers his talents. Ladies and gentlemen, a great applause.
I started recording, and I believe it was at CKRC studio, wasn't it? Yeah. And Mickey Bunny's house. Yes, Mickey was the engineer. And Freddie actually paved the road for many other people. He inspired many musicians to go on and do some recordings, and I truly believe it was because of his inspiration that many other people recorded and have recordings on the market. So Freddie, we honor you today so humbly with your award.
Thank you very much, Nestor. And I'd also like to thank the Ukrainian Musicians Association for this lovely Legendary Achievement Award and this little token of a trophy. Also, I'd like to thank all of you folks for your support throughout my musical career. And just thank you, everybody. And God bless.
Good hear.
And now, but here's a gentleman that I have loved listening to for many years. His name is Peter Sapolsky. Okay, and this gentleman here, he's just so young, full of sprite. He says here, I was born in 1931 and grew up in the Seach area. At the early age, I liked music. My dad taught me how to play guitar. Matter of fact, bought him a guitar for $3. He learned how to play it at the age of 14. My granddaughter still has that same guitar. I played my first barn dance with my Uncle Steve. Don't remember what I got paid, but I was very happy to have played the dance. When I was about 18 years old, Dad bought me my first set of timbale. He taught me a few chords, and then my brother, Ernie, was learning to play the violin, so we started playing together with the help of my dad and an uncle who lived about a quarter mile away. Many an hour was spent practicing. That was the beginning of my playing career. In 1954, we played our first anniversary in a small hall up east of Erickson with no amplifiers. After that, we decided to get ourselves some, what they call, high-powered amplifiers. 35 watts, I think it said here. Made it a lot easier. We also performed at a band called the Harmony Ranch Boys. I also played with many other bands in the early 1880s. We formed our family band, the Sotolskis, played many dances, recorded with Sunshine Records / Bobba's Records. I still play old time with the Parkland Country when I need it. 2 of my granddaughters played timbale with me. Peter, it's our pleasure, our honor, okay, to acknowledge you and to honor you with this legendary achievement.
Yeah, I guess I'd like to thank everybody that kind of supported us, especially the Sunshine Record Company that gave us a chance to record our 3 cassettes and a CD. And also to the Ukrainian Music Association. They did a lot of good work in here. Thank you very much.
Another Sapolsky, Ernie Sapolsky, started playing dances at dances in 1954. Was I born then? No, thanks. Initially formed a 2-piece band with his brother. Later he played with several other bands, such as Sunset Valley Boys, the Troubadours, Harmony Ranch Boys, and the Sotolskis. Ernie also played with different bands in Saskatchewan,
during his musical career. With the Satulskis, several records and cassettes were recorded. He entertained at weddings, anniversaries, New Year's Eve dances, socials, and other occasions. At 74 years young, and I'm supposed to emphasize the young, and now retired, he still enjoys music to good old time music. Ernie Satulski. I know Ernie's not here, but Peter will accept the award on his behalf.
Accordion player. This guy, I think, has been playing forever. You all know him. I'm sure you've seen him. You must have heard of his name before. Matter of fact, he took accordion lessons at Kent's Accordion College in Brandon, Manitoba. From 1968 to 1970, he played in Calgary, Alberta with the Palo Band. He continues to play with the Four Seasons from Oakburn and has been playing since 1960, as well as he has recorded for Bob's Records. I'm talking about the one and only Taras Chuyuk. Taras, where are you? Come on, he's a local boy.
That heard him to the ball.
Thank you.
No, Paul's not here? Oh, there he is. All right, give me that. And it says, under the heading of guitar, Paul is self-taught and started playing in 1948. He has played at many weddings, anniversaries in the Dauphin, Swan River, and at the festival.
Wherever they went, he said, Diabolus. And mostly when they were built to be, it's Diabolus. Well, Jesus, given those, they hold to so many places that they...
He has reached the tender age of 70. During his musical career spanning some 52 years, he played with many bands including Ernie Satulski, Adam Krupa and his Melody Boys, Four Seasons, as well he has recorded at Bob's Records. Please welcome Ernie to the stage.
And he'll make his way up to the stage. Sakarusha Dan Skripkuharai. Dan's a violin player. He has been playing the violin in excess of 50 years. Boy. He has entertained at all kinds of events, weddings, anniversaries, and socials, and currently Dan continues to play part-time, although there are only 3 band members left. And Dan is determined to be the last member standing. Dan plans to record some of his favorite tunes this year and enjoys... Go live.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys, and I really appreciate the people coming and enjoying the music. Thank you very much.
A hard-working musician. Sam Huckle. Sam Huckle, make your way to the stage. Sam took a few lessons and bought his first guitar at 18 years of age, playing for his own enjoyment and entertainment for several years. In 1973, Sam joining a small family band and entertained at house parties and small functions. In 1980, he formed the Huckle Band with his 2 daughters performing at local functions in addition to the small stage at the festival grounds and annual parade. During this time, they made 2 recordings at Bob's Records. For a number of years, along with Peter Slupuski, I believe, on violin and Alfred Frickus on accordion, he played at local functions. A few years ago, Sam joined his present band, Mountain Valley Old Timers, performing in and around the Parkland areas at socials, weddings, the festival, and beer gardens. They also entertain at residents at the nursing homes in Dauphin, Gilbert Plains, and Grandview for the past several years. One thing about Sam, when you ask him to come out and do you a favor, he's always there. As you all maybe recognize, he was at the Rose Hall today with the entire band performing. So, Sam, congratulations.
Took that for word.
Let's give Sam a big hand.
Our next recipient is Leonard Hyra. That's it, Leonard. Now you gotta make your way up here.
He's the luck of you.
Leonard started playing Sabbath when he was 23 years of age with the assistance of Harry Lamb, playing with Peter Lamb's band. He played with his very first band, his Hire a Family, for approximately 18 years, along with his brothers Alexander on accordion, Eugene on guitar, Fred Wally on fiddle, and of course, Leonard played Sabbath, entertaining at various functions, eventually renaming the band to Four Aces and then Western Aces, which remains the band name today. He built and plays his own Sabbath, so he's pretty handy with a saw and a hammer, I guess. And at 75 years of age, currently plays with Danny Gallet on fiddle, Orville Drobot on accordion, Norman Werner on guitar. Leonard continues to entertain at functions, care homes, church socials, reunions, and remains willing to play with anyone that is in need of his talent. Ladies and gentlemen, big warm welcome for Leonard Hyra.
And after in 19BC, we played the 50th anniversary together. I'd like to thank everybody for coming in tonight. Thank you.
All the way from Regina, Saskatchewan, make your way down to the stage. Born in Raccoon, Manitoba, he started in music in grade 1 on some sort of a potato pipe. Teacher saw the potential and was convinced parents to buy him a piano. They bought him a pump organ instead for $25. Matter of fact, I believe Gus is still pumping to this day on organs. And specialize in selling organs too, I believe. He took a few lessons and started playing on an organ in church at the age of 8 years old. When he became a teenager, I guess what every teenager wants to do, he wanted to play guitar. So he bought a guitar with an amp from Wally Musician. Dad made me take the amp back as it was too loud. He started school back in Sandy Lake, Manitoba, then got picked up by the trail riders, played with them till I left home and went to Winnipeg. And he played with Steve Oistrik and the Variety 5 for 14 years, many Ukrainian weddings. 1 year he did over 29 weddings. He freelanced with various bands before moving to Regina, started the Regina Ramblers, then the Riverside. Then he went and started his own radio show called Polka Power on CJTR 91.3 FM on the station. And folks, I tell you what, if you want to hear some good polka music, you got to pick them up on the internet, or if you are in Regina, pick up his program. It's a great program. Last Monday marked his 444th show. Okay, that's 8.5 years of dedicated broadcasting. He played at the Regina Casino Show Lounge several times with the polka beat. He plays accordion, guitar, bass, keyboards, and fiddle. And he says, I tell you one thing, if you guys want to know more about me, come and see me after. So folks, let's give Gus a big hand here.
You can pick us up live in Regina on 91.3 FM, or you can listen to us. We stream live on the internet, www.cjtr.ca, and I have listeners all over the world. A lot of people from Ukraine, Australia, Germany, all over. They really enjoy this type of music. 2 hours of polka music every Monday night from 7 to 9 Saskatchewan time. Rupa, who likes to hide out there in his cottage there in Manitoba, started playing violin at the age of 16 in the Parkland area, playing at weddings, dances, and socials. Adam formed several bands, namely Prairie Troubadours, Rhythm Riders, Trail Riders, and finally Adam Krupa and Northwind. He has composed and recorded several numbers, including his own Trail Riders polka, and has been entertaining in excess of 50 years. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a great applause. Welcome to Adam Krupa.
This guy, folks, not only plays a neat fiddle, but he can drink a bottle of homebrew with me any given time. He is one mean drunk. I don't understand. Good friend of mine, great musician, and also a legendary performer. Adam, congratulations on your award. All the best. That means she's married to Adam. It's Pat Krupa. Yes, it's Pat Krupa.
Is it Pat Krupa or is it Adam Lamb? Which one is it?
Pat started playing with her dad's band, Peter Lamb, and the Sundown Pals at the age of 10, playing all through her high school career, recording 4 albums, and toured in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. In 1969, while attending nursing school, Pat continued to play part-time, filling in for Adam Krupa's accordion player at weddings until their marriage, after which they entertained for 25 years together until their retirement. I talked to Adam briefly today. I said, Adam, you and Pat still play? He says, every night in the bedroom. Oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that.
Oh, they still make music. Oh, okay, good.
Sorry, Adam. That was supposed to be between you and me only, right? Okay. Nevertheless, folks, this gal also is a legendary performer because I do remember being out in the farm, still going to high school, and my brother brought home an LP of Peter Lamb and the Sundown Pals. And there it was. I was studying every person on there, and there was Pat on the quarter box accordion. And you know what? I still can hear that sound of her style on that music, and I truly believe, Pat, that you really made the sound of the Sundown Pals to what it was to this day. Very, very unique. As well, folks, Pat was also responsible as one of the founding members of the Ukrainian Musicians Association, so I think she deserves a big hand for that as well.
Oh, wait a minute. Thank you.
One more.
Wonderful.
Congratulations, and say a few words, please.
I have to be careful. When we started this idea really originated with this gentleman and his wife and Adam and I sitting over coffee and talking about our times as musicians and, you know, what's going to happen. And I think I said something in this, oh, I'll induct you into the Hall of Fame when you die. So as it turned out, the idea was born. And this is the greatest achievement that I've really, and I have to congratulate the founding board members, which of course Bobby, Lorna, Linda, and Ness. I think this was really the 5 of us that really put the effort in to get this. And Bunny Sklapovich, is she here? Oh, hi Bunny. And she was very instrumental. All of us really put a lot of sweat equity into this. And you know, Adam and I moved away to Cochrane, Alberta, and these guys carried on. You today have to thank this man right here for his perseverance with the rest of the board members who have never given up on this dream to continue to have this Hall of Fame moved over here. And to you, I have to say, you've done an awesome job. So they do deserve all the awards, and I thank you so much for recognizing them. The rest will finish off.
You're right, Adam. She's never lost for words. Anna? Okay, good. There she is. Growing up in a musical family and enjoyed singing at an early age with her sister Alice. Tried playing the guitar and the cymbales, but playing a musical instrument was not her feat. She sang instead. In the early 60s, Anne and her sister, known as the Satulski Sisters, recorded 2 vocals with Peter Lamb and his band. In the early 80s, recorded 3 cassettes with the Satulski family, a band which consists of 3 brothers, a sister, a niece, and a family friend. Still enjoys good old sing-alongs. Ladies and gentlemen, Anne Kalenich.
These awards, she's a busy gal right around the clock. She's going to be doing a lot of preparation for the August 1st induction of many musicians. So Anne, we appreciate all the hard work and dedication that you have shown for the U organization. Congratulations.
And I want to thank the Ukrainian Musicians Association for this recognition. I'll make a short and sweet. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. Is Tony Key. Tony started playing the harmonia in 1945. Initially, he played with Peter, violin, and Frank Mediowski on guitar. Later, Tony played with Jim Gregorish for 3 years. Must have been a great experience. In 1950 until 57, he played with the Harmony Kings, a 5-piece band. Tony also played with Peter Lamb and the Sundown Pals for approximately 4 years, playing at weddings and as far away as Saskatchewan and Alberta. You didn't play with Pat too, did you? Oh, good, you're lucky. He played for 3 years with the Serenades, Billy King. Tony continues to entertain with Russell James and the No Name Band, playing at many personal care homes, dances, and weddings. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Keys.
Legendary Achievement Award is the one and only Bill Coos. Bill Coos, if you're an audience, make your way to the stage. Bill started playing at the age of 10, playing the violin, of course, born in 1943 in the Russell area, where he still resides today. He received his education in Metadosa School and St. Latimer's College in Rollins. The first booking was for a high school dance, and he played with Bob Horley. Throughout the years, he played many weddings, dances, and other occasions, playing with various bands including the Polka Dots, Rainbow Valley Boys, the Serenaders, Country Ramblers, and Brothers of the Road. Bill is still in farming, but when he's run low of money, he goes and plays music. Bill, congratulations on your Achievement Award.
Thank the Music Association for these awards. And it's wonderful to have people like them working, make things like this happen. And keep up the good job, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Leo. Our next recipient is Leo Maximitz. Leo here? No? Is anybody accepting on Leo's behalf? No? Okay, well, we'll just read the bio on Leo. Leo started playing the violin at age 14 while in Elphinstone High School. They make Kubasai here over there. Formed first band in 1951-52 with Ned King on accordion, Morris Butlis on guitar, and Sister Margaret on piano, and played at their first wedding in Shoal Lake Hall for $25. In 1968, formed the Trail Riders Band and recorded the first LP. In 1977, formed the family band with his 3 sons, which continued until September of 2001. Leo told us that he is very pleased to be a member of Yuma and wishes continued success in years to come. Ladies and gentlemen, Leo Maximitz.
Walter Medania. Okay, Walter, at the age of 66, continues to play with the Four Seasons and also annually in Toulon with the Ambrose Brothers. Walter, if you're in the audience, make your way this way. Wally started playing locally with the Sunset Valley Boys in 1962 to 1966. He then performed for some 20 years with the Four Seasons from 1968 to 1988. From 1988 to 2000, Wally played with the Riding High for some 13 years. Walter, we congratulate you on the Legendary Achievement Award. Thank you very much for this achievement. That's all I can tell you. Thank you.
Thank you all. Congratulations. Next on the list is John Brackett, Johnny Moroz. Is Johnny here? Not here? Oh, there he is. I did. He's on Colossia. Guitar, mouth organ, and he plays them all at the same time. No? No, you're not. As well as an accomplished singer and yodeler. Born in 1930 and due to a birth defect, John's life was spent in a wheelchair and music became his passion. In his younger years, John sang on 14 amateur nights, winning first place in 7 of them. He played, sang, and yodeled weekly on Dauphin's CKBM for 3 years and had composed a few songs as well. For many years, John was on a float during the annual festival's parade, in addition to playing in the Dauphin Mall during the festival. What a musically talented individual. Due to ill health, accepting the award on John's behalf is his 3, was that brothers? Boys? Oh, the 3 boys, I'm sorry. John Jr., oh yeah, there we are. Melvin.
Due to his health and that, he couldn't be here tonight. And when I did ask him, are you sure you don't want to come? He says, I look like hell. And he was always conscious about how good he'd look up on stage. So anyway, thank you again. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. And our next recipient is probably not going to be a stranger to a lot of you people in this area. He started playing fiddle at the age of 14. Steve took lessons for 14 years and performed at Don Messer Music polka or reel or jig, whatever it was, at a Christmas concert. Steve played at his very first wedding in 1956, performing with Patterson's Playboys and the Rail Valley Buckaroos. With CKDM radio station covering Manitoba and Saskatchewan listeners, Steve filled in with the Country Kings. After moving to Winnipeg in the fall of 1961, he joined Jim Gregorish Orchestra and then reunited with the Country Kings band from 1963 to 1982. During his entire music career, Steve played with numerous bands including the Winnipeg Playboys, which later became Bear Country, a group called High Profile, filled in with the Ambrose Brothers, and currently entertains with a special group that signed him to a lifetime contract, and the name of that group is the Ukrainian Old Timers. Please welcome to the stage the legendary Achievement Award recipient, Mr. Steve Mick. Steve, come on down. Directly from Gilbert Plains. Baseball player, too. He wanted to act in the movies, too.
It's always nice when you can speak last, because then you can speak for everybody who's in the music business. But it's been a long road, 54 years, I believe. And even in the 60s and 70s, when we were finished work on Friday, everybody had to work besides playing, because the playing was just extra money. People were packing their cars and their car top carriers to go to the lake. We'd rush home and pack our cars and our top carriers to go play a dance Friday and Saturday, and Sunday if it was midnight. If I had to do it over again, it's been a pleasure, and the reason it's been a pleasure is because of people like you. Music, there's no recipe. It comes from the heart, and when it comes from the heart, it's because people like you enjoy it, and we enjoy it with you. I thank you for lifelong, and again, I would do it over again if I had the chance. Maybe I can start again, I don't know. I think we'll just take it at that. But thank you, one and all. It's been a pleasure, and hope it continues on the health of us.
I got a little chuckle. Wait a minute. There's a poster up front with something River Valley Boys that has your name on it. Oh, so he goes and takes a look. Well, doggone it, I did play here. Okay, our next recipient, Manuel Nakanechny. Is he here? Yeah? Yeah, come on, good. Manuel was born and raised in Pine River, Manitoba. Started playing guitar at the tender age of 7. He was self-taught and very determined, his inspiration being no other than J.R. Cash. His first appearance on stage was at age 12. He played at socials, weddings, festivals, coffee houses, and church functions. Manuel plays in numerous bands and entertains as a single to date. He recorded a CD with a band named Sababa. Is Manuel here?
No, he's not here today.
Not here today. Does somebody accept his award on his behalf? Okay, we'll have someone accept the award on his behalf.
Well, this chap here basically is the sound of the Parkland area. He's been around like a dinosaur. He's been playing for so many years that, I don't know, when I was knee-high to a grasshopper, I used to listen to him on the radio. He started playing at the age of 11 years of age and has been performing ever since. His trademark is his blue fiddle. You're trying to guess who that was? Or is? Or what's that? Wherever you are, come on. Make your way
Hi, Boris.
Boris and his orchestra, the Melody Kings, are well known throughout Western Canada. They have been entertaining and recording countless albums for many years. The group is very versatile and performs many styles of music, including old-time, country, contemporary, performing in many Ukrainian weddings across the prairie provinces and as far away as the New York State. And I believe Boris had the privilege of playing at a wedding in New York. That was kind of a highlight of his career. Boris estimates he has performed in over 500 halls, I know he's straight to stretch it, and has no intentions of retiring. Can you imagine that? That old dog is going to keep on going. So, Boris, congratulations on your legendary achievement award. Let's hear it for Boris.
Few words. Hard to believe that this organization has carried on this far. I was at the very first one, 2003, Victoria Union, when Human got started. Quite a highlight of that evening, though, the highlight of the year for that matter. And congratulations, Ness, and all the people here responsible to keep it going. And I hope it keeps going all the way through. I don't think about retiring. As a matter of fact, people keep asking me, are you still playing? Yeah, well, was I not supposed to? That's what I keep saying. Anyhow, thank you very much for a wonderful experience that I've had over the years and the memories, and I'm still going to keep doing it. Thank you very much.
Big hand for Boris, Joe on violin and Mike on guitar, and later with the Semchuk brothers. This continued till son Boris came to being of age, and the Melody Kings Orchestra was formed in 1959. It was quite a thrill to play with his son Boris, and more so with his granddaughter Pamela, which came into the band in the early 1990s. That was also one of the boys and wanted to be treated as such. When the Melody Kings band was formed, Dad played the tenor banjo and later switched to electric bass guitar, the instrument he played while he finished his career. To this day, he keeps on saying he would do it all over again if he only could get younger. And William, I know you're not here, you're not feeling well, but we congratulate you on this legendary achievement award, and Boris will accept the award. Radio continues to entertain their listening audience every Saturday night with Road to Yorkton 2. Two of the band members are now deceased, but at the age of 71 years of age, Lauren continues to freelance with different bands and tells us music remains a major part of his lifestyle and still enjoys playing. Lauren, congratulations. Lauren is not here. I'm going to accept something. Organ player, Lauren Rollback. Lauren Rollback, are you here? If you are, make your way down here. In 1956, Lauren started playing the accordion with various musicians. In 1958, at Gilbert Plains, an orchestra was formed called the Rail Valley Buckaroos. The group consisted of myself, Steve Nick on violin, Victor Belinsky on rhythm guitar, and Walter Olas on steel guitar. In 1960, the group went their separate ways to seek employment. Lauren did not actively play with any original musical group until after retiring in 2004 and returning to Gilbert Plains. In the year 2007, Lauren made a CD with Ed Werbicki and currently plays with the Mountain Valley Old Timers and the Parkland Old Timers. Lauren will celebrate his 70th birthday in June and welcomes everybody to come down for a drink.
Lauren, whoever consider this sure surprised the heck out of me.
Thank you. Is Martin here? Debbie comes. Okay, good, great. Now, Marvin, you were born and raised in Winnipeg, Osis? Hey, okay, I got the right grade up. It's in two parts, and we weren't sure, so I just want to make sure. His grandfather, let's say, how do you pronounce that? Schlatich, was a well-known pioneer fiddle player who played numerous weddings and anniversaries in the Rice Lake, Fork River area. Marvin inherited his talent and followed in his footsteps. Marvin's first instrument was the guitar and began playing at dances and socials when he was 9 years old. Boy, good thing you didn't have the drinking laws, and at that time they weren't that strict. Yeah, keeping up. His parents bought him a fiddle. Oh no, his parents bought a fiddle for his older brother, but Marvin quickly learned to play it. His younger brother began playing the guitar, and so with Marvin on the fiddle, together they spent many summer evenings playing outdoors, entertaining the farm neighbors. Sound carries far and wide on a still evening in Manitoba, that's for sure. They formed a small band and began playing at local halls and schools. In the early 60s, the four of them went to Teachers College, or became Teachers College graduates, got together and formed a real band. And later formed his own group, which became known as the Melodiers. Played country music, but primarily Ukrainian dance tunes, specializing in Ukrainian songs. In the early 80s, the Melodiers accompanied the Zerpa dancers and played at the Rochester Ukrainian Festival in New York. The Melodiers also provided music in Yorkton and Dauphin for the Dauphin's riding and dancing Cossacks. Were featured weekly on the local radio station CKDM. At the present time, Marvin does informal entertaining and provides fiddle music for the CNUF wedding presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, a nice warm welcome for Marvin Procession.
It's indeed an honor to be recognized and to be awarded with this little token, one of many that I've received over the years, and certainly appreciate this one a great deal because I was instrumental in building this site and getting this hall in place as well. So to receive this in a hall, and Rhodes being one of the halls that moved on here as part of the philosophy of the site, I'm more deeply honored because of that to be able to receive this here. You know, I played with a whole lot of people, and we provided music in the Rice Lake, Barbagosa's area, along with the Hadways, along with the Meadowlanders. Betty is here, and ourselves, the Melodiers, and Boris Mosud probably was up there as well. It was with our playing that we were able to build the Rice Lake Hall, which unfortunately today stands idle because there's nobody to entertain and there's nobody to fill the hall up anymore. But we were the band that provided all the music over there. So, you know, it's been a long, many years that we've done these kinds of things, and I want to thank especially my wife for being tolerant of my playing, being tolerant, not only my wife, but my kids too, because many times on weekends, as musicians would know, we leave at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock on the weekend and not come back till the early hours of the morning when the birds were singing, when we'd be sleeping and everybody else had to do the chores or do the work or do whatever. So to my wife, I thank sincerely for her tolerance of my playing, and she still tolerates my playing even today, because we do entertain seniors. She plays the omnichord, and I play the violin, and that kind of gave me a bit more interest to play, which I hadn't been doing. So also pick up the guitar and sing, and we play evenings when nights are long. So Mary will always say, "Come on, we got to practice. We got to do a couple of days from now." So Marvin takes out his violin, and of course we told him practice and play. So I've perfected myself in that way to be where I am right now. So thanks to her. But I want to thank you all too. Some of you, most of you, a whole lot of you have had us playing for your weddings, for your socials, and whatever, and it's indeed been a pleasure. Many of you have turned gray and older. I didn't. My hair is still black. But no, we all have, and it's nice to see some of you when I see you at the stage here or at the hall. Indeed, it's nice to be here, and I thank the organization for the tremendous work that they're doing. Congratulations.
Rozdeva. Joseph, where are you? Come on down, okay? Joe inherited his love for music from his parents and at an early age started to play the violin, accordion, and drums. In over 5 decades, Joe has contributed a great deal in the field of Ukrainian music, having recorded 2 albums with Peter Lamb and 1 album with the Trail Riders. Joe played with the likes of Billy Coos, Jim Gregorish, Matt Lilley, Leo Masimic, and the host of other entertainers. Joe is recognized not only for his musical talent, but for his positive attitude and that good old familiar grin. Joseph, congratulations on your legendary achievement award.
His family name, but we call them Shauchuk, but Maybe you've anglicized it to Suchuk. Betty? What is it? So what is it? Shuchuk or Shauchuk? Is it one half, 6 of one, half a dozen the other? Betty is a self-taught accordionist. Played with her late husband, Ernie, who played violin. Has been playing in bands for the past 25 years. Started an orchestra called Five Meadowlanders in the late 60s, playing Ukrainian and old-time music for weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, and so on. And also accompanied Freddie Cheddarbrook on 2 LPs in 1971. Currently entertains at seniors and care homes, accompanies Canada's National Ukrainian Festival Choir, and for the past 12 years performs at the festival's grandstand, as well as provides music for the Ukrainian wedding performance at the festival. Ladies and gentlemen, a great applause for
playing in Dauphin. Our friends were playing in Ethelbert, Pine River, Gilbert Plains, wherever. And those were the best years of my life. For example, when you were playing at a dance, especially long weekends, you saw who snuck out the side door with who. You saw who was pinching who in the bum on the dance floor, flirting around. And those were the days where you quit at 1 o'clock. You played until the crowd was playing. And then what do? They give you a bottle of home brew and an apple pie for the way home. What are you going to do on the way home with a 26 of home brew and an apple pie? Anyhow, those were great days. You come home at 6 o'clock because we played who knows where. We come home at 6 in the morning or so, and Ernie looks at the sky and he says, it looks like it's going to rain, we better get out on the field. So we just change our clothes and get on the field, and by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I saw 2 fence posts at the other end of the field. But they were good days, and I still like jamming with the guys today, only we're not playing for the seniors because now we are seniors. I say we play for the older people.
Thank you, Betty.
Wassel, make your way to the stage. Wassel started playing Sabala at the age of 12 years and continued to play for 40 odd years. His musical talents also include rhythm and bass guitar. He has performed at the festival grandstand and many weddings and socials, anniversaries and concerts in and around the western provinces. He has entertained as a soloist and with many bands such as the Western Aces, Perennial, I'm going to get this wrong, Sacra Rock Cross Band, and the Chris Nowolowski Band, also Riding High Band, and the Four Seasons Band. Wassel also played with many musicians, including Tarash Toyuk, Wally Medanyuk, I believe, Ernie Dimitko, Ernie Waski, and on your Legendary Achievement Award. Thank you.
That's Ivan. Is John here? Haha, I knew he was here. John started playing cymbala in 1954 at 15 years of age. Abandoning it at 16 due to the age of the cymbala. I guess they're an old one. It's probably cracked and everything. He had difficulty tuning it. The pegs were not threaded. He refers to tuning the cymbala as a battle. I agree with you. I see Linda doing it here. John's dad influenced him as John's dad played the violin at that time. In 1999, the family moved to Gilbert Plains, and Ted guided John and helped him set up all the keys so that he was able to tune them. At church, John met Eldon Pamperchuk, who liked the sound of cymbala. What are you doing playing the cymbala in church?
It was after.
Oh, it's after church. Oh, okay. Just written wrong here. Okay. On his next visit, he bought the violin and taught John some chords. John eventually had to rebuild his cymbala, but after retirement, he enjoyed good times and plays for many different events. And John also played at Rhodes Hall for the Yuma grand opening this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for John Summershire.
Brought over the family, he says maybe we can play, so we started playing, let's keep on playing. So thank you guys. It's a pleasure to play because I enjoy playing and passes the time away and everything else. And then you can make noise in the house and drive your wife silly. So, thank you.
Thank you, John. we watched John play, and those Pataqueta, boy, they were just flying.
Here's another legendary performer that we're going to honor, ladies and gentlemen. And this chap definitely deserves an award just like the rest of the musicians that came across the stage. His name is Ed Werbicki. Ed, where are you? You're somewhere in the audience, I know. Mick, you're way down here. Ed loves his fiddle and Ukrainian music, and Ukrainian music was the force behind his ability to compose and record music. At 7 years of age, he started playing the violin, and at 13 formed a band and played at all Canadian celebrations throughout the Western provinces. In the years to follow, Ed and Fred Chatterbrook formed a Parklanders 4 band that entertained very successfully in all provinces for some 30 years. Ed has won several championship awards and recently appeared on the CFRY Made in Manitoba show promoting several of his CDs. Ed claims there is still no dust on his fiddle. That means there's more to come. Ed,
I am thankful to God for putting his hands into mine and make me do what I did, Ukrainian music. Played so many hearts through the whole provinces. And now what I'd like to do is to have these fellows stand up that back me up on my CD. Rhythm guitar, Alex Federcher, can you please stand up? Accordion, Norman Roback, please. And bass guitar, Vic Belinsky. And I guess in closing, I want to thank all the fans that bought my CD, and let's celebrate this event till the early morning.
Thank you, Ed. Congratulations. Wally first started playing at weddings and dances in 1952 when he and Stan Cashew started their first band, the Sunset Valley Boys. Throughout his entire life, he played without any time off at various bands. With Peter Land, he toured the Prairie provinces with a stage show and dance and played on 4 albums. Presently, after continuously playing for 58 years, at age 73, look at him, surprise 73. We should have a holy, look at him. He's too young. I don't know. He's actively played with his band Parkland Country. Ladies and gentlemen, big hand, Wally Inchusky.
Tonight, and I'll tell you, 58 years goes pretty fast because I'm still practicing the same tune that I started to learn 58 years ago.
His life with different bands. In 2006, Steve was chosen as the Ukrainian Festival Idol and received a recording contract through the festival in Dauphin and traveled to Winnipeg to record a CD. Steve continues to play around Dauphin with Ray LeClaire on lead guitar and fiddle. Ray has performed with Red Wine on the very first album recorded at Sunshine Records. In addition to Ray, Steve plays with Leo Kolinski on bass and Robert, help you all here, Gubachik, who plays fiddle and guitar. Steve, congratulations on your legendary achievement award. Let's hear it for Steve.
Here was a woman by the name of Sophia from Winnipeg. She wanted, and I wanted the following year. And I also want to thank Nestor here at Sunshine Records for letting me record my CD there. And to all the members who made this thing possible. Don't you think this was very nicely organized right here? And I do hope you have a nice time after this. I go to watch the Ukrainian old-timers at the community, and Nestor says a lot of jokes. But I've never heard this one from Nestor. Maybe he did say it, but I'll say it. It's a short joke, and maybe he'll use it for his program. There was this old lady. It was a very hot and windy day, and she was hanging to her hat with hands. a young guy walking by says, "Lady, did you know that your skirt is up in the air?" You know what she said? "What you're looking at is 80 years old. His year half is brand new." Thank you again.
He's also a comedian. He was saying that 58 years go so fast. I was going to tell Wally, you know, Wally, old age or life is like a roll of toilet paper. As you get to the end, it rolls very fast. And now we're getting to the second last recipient. I guess it serves you right for being born with a name starting with Z. Elmer Zalishchuk. Is Elmer here? Elmer started performing in the music field in 1960, playing with various artists and groups, playing the violin and guitar. Elmer has played with several bands, including, oh boy, here's a good list, the Harmony Serenaders, the Manjuk Band, the Cedar Brothers Band, the Meadowlanders, the Rhythm Makers, Original Polka Kings, Massey River Band, and Parkland Old Timers. Ladies and gentlemen, Elmer Zalishchuk. Big hand.
Legendary organization as well. I'm honored to accept this award. Been waiting for it for 51 years. Thank you.
Thank you.
And last but not least, and no, she's not present, Alice Zemiuk. Alice began entertaining when she was only 6 years old. And at what a very early age, she loved to sing. And in 1962, as the Satulski sisters, Alice with her sister Ann recorded 2 vocals with Peter Lamb. In the 1980s, together with the whole family, the Satulski family recorded 3 albums. Alice is now retired and sings for her grandchildren. Alice, congratulations, and I believe we have Ann accepting the award on her behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, this is concluding our program. A few things that we just want to add. I know I have this gentleman right here beside me. He wants to say a few words. But before he does that, I want to say a few words about him. Part of the Ukrainian Old Timers band, Steve Mick, always likes to book into a hotel nice and early and take a hot bath before he goes to entertaining. So this afternoon, I won't mention the hotel, but it's right downtown. Steve was busy taking a bath, and he likes to have a lot of soap in there, so he's got this bar of soap and he's swishing it around, and all of a sudden he lost it in all this murky water, but he knows a chambermaid walking by, and he says, "Hey, Mrs., ходіть сюда. So the chambermaid comes over and says, "Yes, what's your problem?" He says, "Я тут мав мило, і десь я загубив. Може ви мені тут поможете знайти? Maybe you can help me find this soap." So the chambermaid kneels down into the bathtub and starts looking, and all of a sudden Steve's eyes light up and says, "Та Тоня мило." And the chambermaid says, "Тобі не мило, а мені дуже мило." Here's Steve Mick to say a few words.
Just a quick comment here. We in the Ukrainian community here in this area have adopted other cultures, and other cultures have adopted the Ukrainian culture so that we work together in unison. And I think I would be remiss in introducing someone that I have worked with, one of the finest musicians, is Hans Carlson, a button accordion player. He hails from Sweden. He came to Canada many years ago. He's been in this area, and I'm sure a great number of you who are from here know him. And he's played with Boris Nausad. I've worked with him. He played with Cam Chernetsky. And I'd just like to also honor Mickey Chernetsky, who's here, who's the brother of Cam, and they played in the 50s and 60s. But Hans even said to me, he says, "You know, Steve, I was born in Sweden, came to Canada. He says, and I hit this community that's all Ukrainians." He says, "Do you think I should change my name to Carlschuk?" And I said, "No, it's okay, you can stay Hans Carlson." Hans, fine musician. Big hand for Hans. He's adopted our culture. He's worked in so many weddings in that area.
Ladies and gentlemen, we should have done this at the beginning, but we kind of forgot, because it is customary to note any dignitaries in the audience. And we forgot about our deputy mayor, Mr. Brian Cheetah. Brian? And his lovely wife, Michelle. And this is a paid political announcement. Brian is running for mayor. You heard it first at the Yuma convention.
And that's why he's here, gathering votes, right?
We'll be watching in October.
Just a little announcement before we conclude our program. As you've seen, folks, we honored approximately 37 Parkland musicians. Now, we do know that there are many more that were missed, but you know what? Not on our behalf. It's just simply because some people did not respond to certain letters that were sent out in a certain period of time, and then other musicians we were not even aware of. So what we're going to do, we're still going to extend the invitation for them to send in an application to us or even to contact us, and we'll give them directions on what to do. And on August the 1st, here at the Ukrainian Festival, we're still going to be honoring many different musicians across Western Canada with the Legendary Achievement Award, and we'll like them to participate and be part of that celebration. As well, we're going to be inducting approximately anywhere from 8 to 12 people into the Hall of Fame. So you might want to take note of that to be present here on August the 1st, which is the Sunday, approximately at 4 o'clock at the festival stage is when it's going to take place. Also, one more thing I'd like to mention, that all the recipients that did receive an award, very shortly we'd like you to make your way to the front of the stage, and we believe we have a gal here from Dauphin Herald that wants to take a group picture and post it in the next publication of the newspaper. Okay, so we will definitely like to have that taken as well. And then we're going to have a registration table here. If any one of the musicians that received the Honorary Achievement Award today, if you would like to perform on stage with the Ukrainian Old Timers, okay, or as your own band, you're welcome to do so. You're going to be allowed to do either 2 polkas or 2 waltzes or 2 foxtrots, but only 2 selections per recipient. One more thing in closing, I would like to make mention to some of the people that donated funds to the Ukrainian Musicians Association, and if it wasn't for their hard, dedicated work and support, it would be very hard for us to continue our endeavors. So I'd like to make a mention of all the names that of the people that made donations. B&B Sales, Patricia Andrushik, Mike Baranelski, Victor Belinsky, Lauren Shura, the Dauphin Multi-Purpose Senior Center, Dauphin Mall Merchants Association, Paul DeHollis, Sem Hucko, Leonard Hiram, Tony Kiz, Pat Krupa, Bill Coos, Eugene Lamb, Love and Person Group, Leo Masinic, Gerald Mussey, McMunn and Yates, Lauren Precision, Lauren Roback, Joe Rozdeva, the Ukrainian Orthodox Young Men's Association, Ed Rebicki, Elmer Zelishchuk, Zenon Prostupa, Bernie Podolsky, and also the Ukrainian Old Timers. They all made donations. Let's give them all a big hand for assisting Yuma in their endeavors.
Are any of them running for mayor?
No.
No, none, okay. No competition there. Right.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to just bring onto the stage, just for you to take a look and witness for yourself, the board of directors. If you can make your way onto the stage, folks. Simply like just to acknowledge who they are. Bob Chermichael, Lorna Kristic, Bonnie Sklupovich, Ann Polinik, and myself. We are the Ukrainian Musicians Association, and thank you for the great evening, and congratulations to all the recipients of the Legendary Achievement Award. There's more fun tonight, so stay tuned, have yourself a drink. We're going to set up the bandstand here and get ready to perform some music. Thank you so much.
So let's get all the recipients to the front, to that